Good morning, folks. This is Jacob Folger, artist sculptor, and today I'm going to talk about how I got started in clay. And this is actually inspired and suggested by Ocean Chick. And yeah, I'll get started on that right away. Basically, I have to do this in one clip because I'm having software issues. I want to first thank everyone for all the support when I released my last video about health problems. I'm starting to feel better. I still have ways to come, but want to do this video because it, was inspired by Ocean Chick to do it. I was roughly 30 years old. I'm 60 now, so this is about 30 years ago. I had dabbled in a few different art forms in my younger years. I had done some wood carving and also stained glass work and mixed media, just messing around, but not with any kind of serious direction. I And then one day, one weekend day, I went to a sculpture exhibit with a friend of mine at an art gallery, and I saw the sculpture, and I was like, "Oh wow!" I just felt like drawn to it, and I just said, God, I really would like to own some art, some sculpture. So I I knew that obviously I was not going to be able to afford to buy a bronze or a a sculpture like that. So I just went out and bought some clay, and I started making my own pieces. My first pieces were Old West themed, like cowboys and Indians fighting and stuff like that. And I remember doing a big Santa Claus head and a big monkey head, and I just messed with it a little bit. And then a friend of mine named Alex gave me or lent me a book that he had called Nightmares in the Sky, and it was a book about gargoyles, and I was like, "Oh wow, they were they were amazing!" And I said, "Oh, I've got to try this." So I sat down and started making gargoyles, and I made one after another, and I just was so had such passion for it, and but my house was filling up with gargoyles, and these were big, really big pieces. Some of them, well, the biggest one was 14 inches tall with a 2 foot wingspan. So these were big pieces, and I decided to try to place an ad in the paper. So I ran. I live in Washington D.C., and I ran a small box ad like this in the Washington City paper here in Washington D.C. and uh, modern gargoyle sculptor or something. I don't know. I said get gargoyles here, and opened up my home-based art studio to the public, and that was going okay. I was actually selling gargoyles at that point. That was I believe that was in roughly around 1994 when I was 34 years old, and uh, it was pretty cool. And then I got contacted by a reporter from the Washington Post. Apparently, the editor of the Washington Post saw, which is a huge newspaper, it still is, worldwide, newspaper. They wanted to do an article on me. Apparently, the editor of the Washington Post had seen the ad in the city paper and said, do an article on this guy. And so this author, writer for the Washington Post came. Her name was Nicole Arthur. And they did a big article on me. It covered roughly 3 pages, not the whole page, but, sections of it. And ran alongside Johnny Depp. So that was, that was kind of exciting. And that really kind of put me on the map as a gargoyle sculptor, and really boosted sales, and yeah, it was pretty exciting. And I was working mostly in self-hardening clay, I consider air dry clay Marblex and Mexican clay. Mexican clay tends to be red. I haven't used that in a long time, but I do still use Marblex and recommend it because it's a very durable clay and it's very easy to work with. And so when it dries very hard. And I do recommend that clay even today. It wasn't until roughly, I think, maybe 2004, between 2014 and 2016, that I started to work a little bit with polymer clay. And as you know, on my channel here, I have many videos with polymer clay, and especially Sculpey 3, which seems kind of expensive now, and feel kind of weird about recommending it because it's so expensive. But I was trying to get a hold of some Primo, also made by the same people, I think, and the mail is so messed up right now with the pandemic, so trying to get some of that and try it and see how it works, because I've only ever really worked in Sculpey 3, or Sculpey in general. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And I'd like to say, though, that over the years, so when I first started out, I considered myself a sculptor, and a clay sculptor, really, and but I have left that. I have stepped away from the sculpture a few times in my life, and done other things like painting. I've done acrylic painting on canvas. And I started doing that roughly in 2018, and I did quite a bit of that. Filled my house full of the walls are just all covered with all these abstract acrylic paintings. And I also do mixed media. Like I recently did this mixed media cat. It's so the cat's face is in clay. He's got wire whiskers, acrylic marker or painting pens for the body and the ground, and acrylic paint for the background, and it's all on this 6x6 stretched canvas. This is mixed media. That's where you mix different mediums together to make an art piece. I would like to say that I recommend that you kind of think outside the box and don't put your art in a box and say, I'm only a polymer clay artist, I'm only a sculptor, I'm only a painter. I do a number of mediums. I work as an art photographer, digital art, painting, wire sculpture, glass sculpture, work with mosses and live moss and preserved moss and clay, and I just do whatever. Just here on my desk, I have rocks, I have glass, I have clay, I have polymer clay, I have wire, I have all these different mediums, and really, I like to think, like I'm an artist, and I want to create and make art, and not really put my art in a box. I'd rather be able to just get an idea or inspiration and sit down and make something with that inspiration. So that's what I got. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.